The moment Deborah uttered the words, "My mom is coming for the weekend," a chill ran down my spine. I had heard tales of Belinda's eccentricities, and the idea of her invading our peaceful abode sent shivers through my entire being. The day she arrived was uncharacteristically sunny, a cruel irony considering the storm that was about to hit our household. Deborah, with her irresistible charm, welcomed her mother with a warm embrace, seemingly oblivious to the impending chaos. I put on a brave smile, attempting to mask my reservations. As we settled into the living room, Belinda wasted no time making herself at home. She scrutinized every nook and cranny, commenting on our furniture, decor, and even the choice of flowers on the coffee table. I exchanged a silent plea for help with Deborah, who shot me a reassuring look that did little to ease my growing discomfort. Belinda's presence in our home felt like an intrusion, and her every move seemed calculated to test my patience. As I reluctantly offered her a cup of tea, she eyed me with a scrutinizing gaze. "David, dear, I hope you make tea better than you make first impressions." I chuckled nervously, desperately trying to maintain the facade of hospitality. "Well, Belinda, I'll do my best to meet your high standards," I replied, my attempt at humor falling flat. Deborah, sensing the tension in the room, intervened. "Mom, why don't you freshen up? David and I will take care of everything here." Belinda flashed a triumphant smile, clearly enjoying the discomfort she was causing. "Oh, don't you worry, darling. I'm sure David and I will get along just fine." Little did she know this weekend would test the limits of that assumption. As she disappeared to unpack in the guest room, I sighed, realizing that the next few days were going to be a challenging journey through the quirks and idiosyncrasies of Belinda's world. Belinda's visit took an unexpected turn as she unveiled her grand plan, transforming our anticipated quiet weekend into a full-fledged family reunion. As the doorbell echoed through the house, I braced myself for the oncoming tide of relatives. The entrance of not only Belinda but also Caddy, Frank, and Elise was a spectacle. It was as if a surprise party had erupted in our living room without warning. I exchanged bewildered glances with Deborah, who seemed equally taken aback by the unexpected guests. Caddy, Belinda's flamboyant friend, swept into the room like a hurricane, her laughter echoing off the walls. "Oh, darling, your home is positively charming. I can't believe you've kept it hidden from us for so long." I managed a strained smile, not quite ready for Caddy's theatricality. Meanwhile, Frank, a distant cousin with a penchant for corny jokes, joined me on the sofa. "David, my man, how's it going? Long time no see." "Frank, yeah, it's been a while," I replied, my attempts at small talk overshadowed by the realization that our weekend solitude had evaporated. Elise, Belinda's niece, added to the commotion, chatting animatedly about her latest adventures. "Guess what, Uncle David? I just got back from a trek in the Himalayas. The view was breathtaking." Deborah, sensing my discomfort, shot me an apologetic look. "David, sweetheart, I didn't know they'd tag along. Mom just mentioned it casually and, well, you know how she is." I sighed, acknowledging the inevitable chaos that awaited us. "Yeah, I'm starting to get the picture," I muttered, realizing that my vision of a peaceful weekend had unraveled faster than I could have imagined. The unexpected guests had turned our cozy home into a bustling social hub, and I couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of an unpredictable weekend. The evening descended into a chaotic symphony of clinking cutlery and animated chatter. Belinda's unexpected guests had multiplied, and our cozy dinner table now accommodated more people than our small dining room could comfortably handle. As we sat down to what was supposed to be a quiet family dinner, the room buzzed with conversations that crisscrossed like tangled strings. Frank, always the joker, couldn't resist the opportunity to add a dash of humor to the chaos. "David, my friend, do you think the table will hold all of us? It might be first dinner in history to end with a collapsed dining set." I chuckled nervously, hoping that the table's legs held their ground. Meanwhile, Caddy, the vivacious friend, complimented Deborah on the meal with an exaggerated flourish. "Darling, this is positively divine. You must give me the recipe. I simply must recreate this masterpiece at my next soiree." Deborah, trying to navigate the social storm her mother had brewed, managed a polite smile. "Thank you, Caddy. It's just a simple family recipe." Belinda, seated at the head of the table, looked around with an air of satisfaction. "Isn't this lovely, everyone? A weekend filled with family, friends, and delicious food. Just what we needed." I exchanged a glance with Deborah, silently communicating the mounting pressure we felt. The atmosphere at the dinner table was a mix of forced cheerfulness and unspoken tension. Trying to lighten the mood, I engaged Elise in conversation. "So, Elise, the Himalayas, huh? That sounds incredible. What made you decide to embark on such an adventure?" Elise beamed, eager to share her tales. "Oh, Uncle David, it was a spur-of-the-moment decision. Life's too short, you know. Sometimes you just have to grab the opportunity and go." Frank interjected with a mock-serious tone. "Well, David, when was the last time you went on a spontaneous trek to the Himalayas?" I laughed. "I'll admit it's been a while. But hey, we can't all be adventurers, right?" As the night unfolded, the dinner table became a battleground of competing stories and clashing personalities. Little did we know that the real dilemma was yet to come, a family reunion on the brink of spiraling out of control. The following morning brought a sense of urgency as Deborah and I realized the impending chaos had to be addressed. We needed a solution before our home turned into a chaotic circus tent. Seated in the living room, we broached the delicate topic with Belinda, whose sunny disposition seemed impervious to the storm brewing in our hearts. "Mom, we were thinking," Deborah began tentatively, "maybe we should consider putting up the extra guests in a nearby hotel. It's just that our home is a bit snug for this many people." Belinda's eyes narrowed, and a disapproving frown crept onto her face. "Darling, what a ridiculous suggestion. Why waste money on a hotel when we have perfectly good beds right here? Besides, it'll be just like a slumber party." I tried to reason with a diplomatic touch. "Belinda, it's not about the money. It's about making sure everyone is comfortable. We want this to be an enjoyable weekend for everyone." Caddy, always the dramatic one, chimed in. "Oh, don't be such a spoiled sport to David. I love slumber parties. It'll be so much fun, like we're all kids again." Trying to navigate through the sea of objections, Deborah added, "Mom, it's not that we don't want everyone here. It's just about practicality. We didn't plan for so many guests, and we want everyone to have a good time." Belinda scoffed. "Practicality, dear. This is a weekend filled with love and laughter, not a business conference. Besides, it'll be like a big family sleepover." The tension in the room thickened, and as I exchanged glances with Deborah, it was evident that our concerns were being dismissed. Belinda continued, "I have an idea. Why don't we all share beds? It'll be a bonding experience, and we can tell stories like we used to when Deborah was a child." I couldn't hide my disbelief. "Share beds? Belinda, that's a bit unconventional, don't you think?" Caddy, with a mischievous glint in her eye, interjected, "Unconventional is the spice of life, my dears. Let's embrace it." As the absurdity of the proposal lingered in the air, we realized that finding a compromise with Belinda might be more challenging than we had anticipated. Our once quiet weekend had morphed into a battle of wills, and the proposal for an unconventional sleeping arrangement left us teetering on the edge of frustration. Belinda's proposal for bed sharing hung in the air like a daring challenge, pushing the limits of our hospitality. Deborah and I exchanged bewildered glances, unsure if we had somehow entered an alternate universe where family gatherings involved unconventional slumber parties. Caddy, sensing the unease, tossed her head back with a boisterous laugh. "Oh, what a splendid idea, Belinda. Bed sharing is so intimate. We'll be like one big happy family." I struggled to find the right words. "Well, it's just, we didn't quite anticipate this when we agreed to a weekend visit. Sharing beds might be a bit much." Belinda, undeterred by our discomfort, flashed a radiant smile. "Darlings, it's not about the beds. It's about creating memories. Besides, we've all slept in close quarters before. What harm could it do?" Caddy added with a theatrical flourish, "David, my dear, life is too short for conventionalities. Let's break free from the shackles of societal norms and embrace the extraordinary." Deborah, sensing the tension, attempted a diplomatic approach. "Mom, we appreciate your enthusiasm, but sharing beds might not be practical for everyone. Maybe we can find a compromise, like rearranging sleeping arrangements or considering nearby accommodations for some." Belinda sighed dramatically. Compromises. Where's the adventure in that? In my youth, we slept under the stars with nothing but a blanket and the whispers of the wind. This will be an experience to remember." I couldn't help but shake my head, realizing that Belinda's definition of a memorable experience was drastically different from ours. As the discussion continued, I could feel the frustration building within me, the absurdity of the situation becoming almost comical. Caddy, ever the optimist, chimed in, "Come on, David. Where's your sense of adventure? It's not every day you get to share a bed with such a lively group of individuals." I glanced at Deborah, silently pleading for a lifeline, but she too seemed caught in the whirlwind of her mother's eccentricities. The proposal for bed sharing lingered like an awkward dance, leaving us teetering on the edge of an unconventional family weekend. Little did we know, this proposition was just the beginning of a series of events that would push us to the brink, testing the limits of familial bonds and the definition of a memorable weekend. The absurdity of Belinda's bed-sharing proposal left me with a lingering sense of frustration. As I paced the living room, a mischievous idea began to take shape in my mind. A plan to turn the tables and inject a dose of chaos into her meticulously planned weekend. I called my friend Maverick, known for his unpredictable and playful nature. Maverick, I need your help with something. Belinda has turned our home into a chaotic social gathering, and I've got to do something about it. Maverick, always up for an adventure, responded with a laugh, "David, my man, you've come to the right person. What's the plan?" I explained my desire for revenge, describing the chaos that had ensued since Belinda's arrival. Maverick chuckled, "I'm in. Let's give them a taste of chaos they won't forget." The next day, as Belinda and her entourage reveled in the living room, Maverick arrived with a group of unruly children from a nearby orphanage. Their playful laughter echoed through the house, catching the attention of everyone present. Belinda looked around, trying to make sense of the sudden intrusion. What on earth is going on? "Deborah, did you invite these children?" Deborah, with an innocent smile, replied, "Oh, Mom, surprise. I thought it would be wonderful to have some lively children join our weekend. They're from a local orphanage, and we wanted to share our joy with them." Belinda's expression shifted from confusion to disbelief. "Children, in my weekend retreat? This is preposterous." Maverick, with a sly grin, added, "Come on, Belinda. Life's too short for predictable weekends. Let's embrace the unexpected." As the children explored every nook and cranny, curiosity gleaming in their eyes, Belinda's carefully planned weekend spiraled into delightful chaos. Caddy, attempting to maintain her composure, remarked, "Well, this is certainly an unexpected twist. A touch of spontaneity never hurt anyone, right?" Frank, always quick with a quip, added, "David, my man, you've outdone yourself. This is a true adventure." I couldn't help but smile, watching as the chaos unfolded. The once orderly weekend became a tapestry of laughter, confusion, and unexpected joy. Maverick whispered, "Revenge is a dish best served chaotic." As the day progressed, I realized that our plan had not only disrupted Belinda's meticulous agenda, but also brought an element of spontaneity to a weekend that desperately needed it. Little did I know that this chaotic adventure would set the stage for an unpredictable turn of events in the chapters to come. The sunlit Saturday morning brought with it the sounds of children's laughter and the pitter-patter of tiny feet as the unruly bunch from the nearby orphanage invaded our once peaceful home. Belinda's grand weekend plans had taken an unexpected detour into delightful chaos. As Maverick's plan unfolded, the living room transformed into a playground of joy and mischief. Deborah, relishing in the chaos, approached Belinda with a mischievous smile. "Mom, surprise. We thought it'd be wonderful to have these kids join us for the weekend. You know, spread a bit of joy and laughter." Belinda's carefully applied makeup couldn't hide her astonishment. "Children, in my weekend retreat, this is preposterous. I demand an explanation, Deborah." Deborah, feigning innocence, replied, "Oh, Mom, lighten up. It's just a bit of fun. They're from a local orphanage, and we wanted to share our joy with them." Caddy, trying to maintain her composed demeanor, quipped, "Well, this is certainly unexpected. A touch of spontaneity never hurt anyone, right?" Frank, always ready with a sarcastic remark, added, "David, my man, you've outdone yourself. This is a true adventure." Belinda, seemingly torn between frustration and a desire to save face, glared at Maverick. "You were in on this, weren't you? I demand an explanation." Maverick, with a playful twinkle in his eye, responded, "Belinda, my dear, life is meant to be a series of surprises. Consider this a lesson in spontaneity." The children, oblivious to the tension, explored every corner of the house, turning it into a haven of laughter and joyful chaos. Belinda, attempting to regain control, approached me with an exasperated sigh. "David, I demand that you put an end to this nonsense immediately." I couldn't suppress a smirk. "Belinda, sometimes chaos is the best medicine. Embrace the unexpected." As the day unfolded, the house echoed with the sounds of children's laughter, mingling with the disgruntled murmurs of Belinda's entourage. The once pristine and orderly weekend had morphed into a lively tapestry of unpredictable joy. Caddy, looking around at the chaos, admitted with a chuckle, "Well, this is certainly an adventure. Who would have thought?" Frank, navigating through a sea of giving children, remarked, "David, my man, revenge suits you. This is a weekend to remember." Little did we know that the unruly destruction caused by Maverick's plan would set the stage for an unpredictable turn of events, testing the bonds of family and friendship in the chapters yet to come. As the chaos of the orphanage children infused our home with laughter and vibrant energy, I decided to step back and observe the unfolding scene. Belinda, frustrated by the unexpected turn of events, looked at me with an expression that oscillated between irritation and resignation. "David, this is outrageous. I demand that you do something about this immediately. These children have turned our home into a circus," Belinda exclaimed, trying to maintain an air of authority. I offered a nonchalant shrug. "Belinda, sometimes life throws us surprises. Embrace the chaos and you might find joy in the unexpected." Unconvinced, she huffed and retreated to a quieter corner of the house, leaving me to enjoy the symphony of laughter and giggles that echoed through the rooms. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, I received a call from Belinda. "David, I've had enough of this circus. I won't tolerate it any longer. We're checking into a hotel." Suppressing a smile, I responded, "Belinda, if that's what you think is best, go ahead. I'm sure the hotel will provide a quiet and serene atmosphere for the weekend you envisioned." With a sense of victory, I watched as Belinda and her entourage packed their bags, escaping the uproarious scene in our home. The laughter of the children continued to resonate, creating an atmosphere of joy that contrasted sharply with the departure of our unexpected guests. As the door closed behind them, Deborah approached me with a twinkle in her eye. Well, that was quite the adventure. I must say, Maverick's plan worked like a charm. I chuckled. Indeed, it did. I never thought a weekend with children from the orphanage would be our salvation. Deborah suggested, "Since the house is now free of chaos, how about we spend the night at a hotel ourselves? A quiet, child-free night might be just what we need." The idea appealed to me, and we decided to turn the tables on the chaos, seeking solace in the serene confines of a hotel room. In the comfort of our temporary retreat, we found ourselves immersed in a quiet laughter that echoed in the peaceful ambience of the hotel. As we savored the tranquility, I couldn't help but reflect on the unpredictable turns of the weekend. Little did we know that amidst the laughter in a hotel room, the bonds of family and love would be reaffirmed, setting the stage for a new chapter in our lives.